What is up, Airsoft players? I'm Diles46 from ✱ᴜ Airsoft, and this is
ʟɪධᴇ.
ʟɪဋᴜ is my boy from down there at ✱ᴜ Airsoft. You've probably seen him down there if you come down to play, and he's also a member of Mako team here in Kansas City. A bunch of bad boys. First things first, a lot of these buy-sell trade forums, your local forums, your national forums, Airsoft Classified, Classified Airsoft, Airsoft Craigslist, Craigslist Airsoft, all these buy-sell trades. I don't think I know any players that keep an airsoft gun longer than like 2 or 3 months anymore. Everyone's trading them off, you know what I mean? Which is awesome, man. I love getting new stuff. Everybody loves getting new stuff, trading it out. If you get bored with it, trade it out for another gun. That's awesome.
Yep.
You'll get on these things, and what are you seeing on there, man?
You know, I'm seeing a lot of kids posting, you know, crappy pictures, not very informative descriptions on it. You know, just it doesn't make me want to buy your stuff. You know what I mean?
Right. So, what we were kind of talking about is like how to make whatever you're trying to sell, whatever you're trying to trade, more appealing to potential people that want to buy it or want to trade for it. So we're going to show you some examples as we go through this. First things first, a good picture versus a crappy picture. Here's an example of a crappy picture. Here's an example of a good picture. So first and foremost, what you're going to see the difference is backdrop. That's big.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, for sure.
I don't want to see your dirty carpet or dirty socks. I don't want to see your, you know, your 1970s bedspread or whatever. Yeah. Take it outside, man. Get some sunlight. Get some good angles.
Yeah, good lighting's a big thing for that.
If you're in Instagram, throw a filter on that bad boy. You know what I mean? And that's going to go a long ways, man. It's gonna catch the attention of people, because let's say somebody, for instance, is selling a G&G combat machine M4, right? You take a picture on a dirty ass floor, there's BBs, dirty socks, and then some guy has the same exact gun, asking the same exact price, or wanting to trade for the same exact thing. He does it outside, right, and takes a better, higher quality picture of it. Who do you think's gonna sell first?
I'm gonna buy the one on the high quality
just
picture.
Just saying.
On my back porch, I got some steps on there, good looking steps, you know, whatever, concrete, whatever they are. And set the gun on there, good lighting, good shadows, whatever, and I'll snap the picture, then I'll head into Instagram and I'll put my own filter on it. Boom. Thing
real quick before we get too far off the deep end into this one, know what you're selling. If there's issues with it, describe what the issue is to the best of your knowledge. I understand maybe not everybody's so tech savvy when it comes to the actual issue of the gun, but describe it the best you can. Be open and, you know, forthcoming about it. A lot of times you'll see, along with that nice picture, somebody will, you know, write their name and date on a piece of paper next to it. That way the guys that might not know you, if they're unfamiliar with you, they know that it's a legit deal. It's your gun. Picture was taken on this day in your name. It's actually in your possession.
There you go. That way you avoid scams too.
Alright guys, topic number 2. We're talking about painting your helmets, your guns, or maybe even your gear. I think the most important thing I would like you guys to walk away with, if you haven't heard this or if you don't already know, less is more, man. You can always add more, but you can never take away, you know, what you've already done. So go with light coats. Keep that can 6 to 8 inches away from whatever you're spraying. Light coats, you know what I mean? Don't hold it there forever. Avoid drips and all that kind of stuff. What do you think?
You know, yeah, right. You know, less is more, dude. So the thing is, if you mess up on it, just, you know, do a little light coat over it. You know, it might actually turn out really cool. You never know.
Absolutely. Yeah, and exactly. It ties back into what I was saying. If you go light coats and you mess up with that light coat, you can always go back and redo it 3, 4, 5, maybe even 6 times if it's a light coat. The minute you get heavy-handed and, you know, you start to get the runs, you start to get the drips, you're not going to be able to go back and redo it. So 6 to 8 inches, again, less is more. It goes a long ways. And do your research on what kind of paint job you want to do if you're new at it. Test it out on like a piece of cardboard or something before you actually put it to your gun or helmet. Before you decide that you're bored with your gun, you know what I mean? You're bored with that black M4, that tan M4, or, you know, you're bored with your tan helmet or whatever. Throw a paint job on it, dude, because a lot of times it breathes new life into it, and you kind of regrow that appreciation for that whatever it is. So
gets you into it again, you know.
Absolutely, man. Try the paint. Paint's always fun, but again, rule of thumb, golden rule: less is more. But his question is a really good one, and I told him I would address it, which I am making good on. So his question is, what do you think about semi-auto versus full auto for indoor arena play or indoor CQB play? I'm gonna let you take this one.
Different people use full auto in different ways. So semi-auto, burst fire. Burst fire is really good for if you're, you know, trying to punch through some brush, something like that. But for CQB, you know, burst fire, it can be a little iffy. It depends on the user, really. I personally, if I'm in a burst fire game, I do 2 to 3 shots maybe every pull of the trigger. You know, nothing big, not much different than semi-auto, but it's not the full auto blazing, you know what I mean?
Right. I think, and don't let me put words in your mouth, stop me if I'm wrong, but I think the way people might abuse full auto,
exactly,
right, and that plays into high caps, and it goes into that whole thing. We've had some smaller games at ✱ᴜ Airsoft, but I always emphasize on calling it burst fire. I don't like the term full auto because that leads people to believe that they can do the, you know, dump half a mag into somebody, and that's just, it's bullshit. We're not here to really inflict pain intentionally on each other. You know what I mean? That's not fun. That's a dick move.
Right.
So yeah, back to what you're saying. If you can't do it with 1 BB, you don't deserve to do it with 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Right, I get it. If you can't hit me once, you shouldn't be hitting me with 6 or 7 BBs. At the same time, as far as effectiveness, especially in CQB where you're doing these you know, quick snapshots around corners and things like that. Again, emphasizing on burst fire, I think, you know, a 2 or 3 round burst, personally, yeah, man, as far as being effective.
It'll get the job done, you know.
Absolutely.
I wouldn't personally like to come around a corner and have a guy from me to Nigel right here shoot me 3 times in the arm if I could only be shot once.
Are you talking about Austin
Maybe
Ash?
there's a possibility.
Sorry, Austin, love you, buddy. That was blue on blue, man. I didn't do it. It was your fault. Anyways, yeah, back to semi versus full auto, what we think about it in indoor CQB environments. As a rule of thumb, just to play it safe, just to make sure there's no injuries, people aren't trying to intentionally hurt each other, keep it semi. And for the most part, I mean, with 11.1 lipo and, you know, a nice shim job on hella stock gun anymore, halfway decent gun, I mean, that you can rack that thing as quick as you can pull the trigger. So, all right, guys, last question from Thomas Milner. He asks, how far is too far to drive to a game or an operation on op? You've done a lot of traveling. For your, let me, for guys that don't know Rip here, Mr. Riptide, for kind of your, how long have you been playing now? About a year and a half? Going on 2 years?
Almost a year and a half.
Okay. For that short span, you've logged some hours on the road going to out-of-town ops.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, for sure. With the Mako team. Mako, those guys travel.
Right, yeah.
Have car, will travel. Have gun, will travel. That's the rule of thumb with Mako. What's the farthest you guys have traveled?
I personally, my furthest was Operation ESR 19-2 by American Milsim, which was down in Roosevelt, Oklahoma, which is 7.5 hours away. Pretty solid drive.
That's a solid, yeah.
Yeah, we were in a 12-person van, so, you know, got kind of, we really loved each other in that van.
A lot of love smells going on in a van like that.
Yep.
After 7.5 hours.
Thank you, Brent Kiltner, Mission Spec.
Okay, okay. Wiggle, wiggle,
so
wiggle.
fancy.
Alright, okay. I'm gonna skip this one because I feel like you're fucking stealing my shit. Here we go. A gentleman by the name of ☱ COD. ☱ COD. I assume that means the Stone Call of Duty, maybe? Perhaps. Anyhow, maybe the cod, the fish. Delicious white fish. Cover that in a nice beer batter.
Oh, yes.
Deep fry it.
Tossed into a helmet, took it up on your deployment.
Okay.